생각이 듭니다. 단독 인터뷰부터 보시죠.
It's great to be here. You know, we're actually here at the end of an Australian, Southeast Asian, and Asian tour. And Korea is one of the places we've really wanted to come to for a long time. Joe's actually been here before and has told us so much about Seoul and about Korea in general, and we wanted to experience it for ourselves. And we also know we have a lot of amazing fans over here and in this part of the world. So it was really important for us to do this tour and do this show in particular.
For the album was done by a graffiti artist from Amsterdam named Boris, and there was actually a whole day dedicated to the artwork, the whole process. We wanted to really show how the artwork was put together for this album, and which relates to the whole process of making the album, where we wanted to show our fans how you make an album, or how we make an album. And that art day, there was actually, you can see it in the inside of the CD, there was 3 huge pieces of, like, I guess, board or canvas or these panels set up. And Mike and Joe and Frank Maddox, our art director, and Boris all spent the whole day painting on this, and they took pictures of it as it went from just a blank canvas to this developed art piece. So that's partly where a lot of the artwork in the album was taken from, and there's also shots and stuff from the studio showing the making of the album. And also in the CD, we actually put a DVD in there that shows the whole process of making the album in the studio, shots from the studio and working on songs, and also on the CD it's enhanced with that whole art day I just told you about, which you can check out on there and get to see pretty much the whole process of how Meteor was made.
Won the title, but on a more serious note, we actually had changed a lot personally over the last few years. When we wrote Hybrid Theory, we were still pretty young. You know, some of us were still in our teens, and others were in our early 20s, and we were in a completely different mind frame at that point. We had gone through a lot of trying to get a record deal and getting turned down a lot, and trying to build a fan base on our own. So we were coming from a perspective of a lot of paranoia and things like that, and a lot of self-doubting and things like that, and trying to overcome those things. So there's a lot more negativity in Hybrid Theory, I think, within the lyrics and also in the music. I think it was a little bit more dark. Whereas Meteora, our perspective has changed. We've been able to tour around the world, and our experiences were different. And so a lot of the feelings that were coming out lyrically were from what it was like going through touring and being away from the people that we love, and kind of the hardships of that. But there was still a lot of success, so there was a lot of optimism, I think, in the music and also in the lyrics.
Right.
And we also got to experiment a lot with a lot of different sounds that we never got to use before. We create all of our own samples, so that makes it, our jobs a little bit harder than just a lot of other people sample things that other people have already created. And we got to use different kinds of loops with acoustic guitars and that you hear on Somewhere I Belong. We also got to use live strings, and we got to use live piano. And a lot of those ideas came about going through the process of making Reanimation and working with all these different artists. We were inspired to use these different types of instruments in our music, and I think that that kind of brings a different sound. It makes it sonically a lot different too. So that's, I think, the main differences between the two records. Everybody contributes to the writing of the record, even though I might not come up with the guitar parts. It's Brad's job, because he's the guitar player, and he's a lot better at that than I am. So, but at the same time, if something isn't working, I have no problem telling Brad that, hey, this needs to be better.
Dude, why
Brad,
are you always singling me out?
And Brad doesn't have a problem doing the same thing.
I'm sick of it, dude.
I'm sorry, bro.
Well, I mean, do you also take into consideration what your fans want to hear?
I was just kidding. We're not really in a fight.
I know.
I was just,
That's why I just totally ignored you and asked him another question.
I was dramatizing.
It's a real democratic form of writing. Mike and I are also two completely different people, so in order for us to write lyrics together, we have to be very open and honest with each other about what we're trying to express, and that makes it a really interesting and also I think very fulfilling kind of way of writing because we get to be really honest and open, and because we are such different people, we have to write in a way that both of us can relate to that, and I think that that has also helped us relate, or helped our lyrics to relate to a lot of different people. And so, but as far as the music is concerned and everything else, we're all very involved and we're all very critical of each other, and I think that pushes us to become better.
타임트럭과 함께하고 계십니다. 자, 지난달에 내한했던 뉴메탈 밴드 링킨파크. 현재 최고의 주가를 올리고 있는 이런 밴드가 우리나라에 내한을 한다는 건 참 상당히 드문 일인데요. 얼마 전에 또 마릴린 맨슨도 공연을 했었고요. 이번에는 링킨파크까지 열게 돼서 한국 락 음악에 대한 그런 발전, 그리고 뮤지션들 포함해서 매니아들에게 많은 이렇게 업그레이드가 되고 기분이 상당히 좋아지는 그런 일이 아닌가 또 생각이 됩니다. 자, 올해 말 그리고 내년 초까지 해서 뭐 뮤즈 그리고 콘, 메틀리카의 내한까지 지금 얘기가 나오고 있어서 더욱 그런 분위기는 화살표 위로 올라가지 않을까 생각이 됩니다. 그리고 타임트락이 여름에 또 헤드뱅어 선발전까지 해서 링킨파크 공연까지 시애틀에 가서 보는 그런 이벤트까지 했었는데, 어떻게 보면 이 링킨파크와 한국 간의 뭐라 그럴까요? 이 운명적인 뭐 그런 공연이 우리나라에서 꼭 있을 수밖에 없는 그런 흐름이 아니었나 또 그런 생각을 해봤습니다. 자, 링킨파크와의 단독 인터뷰를 보고 계신데요. 인터뷰 후에는 또 타임트락에서 입수한 이들의 내한 공연 모습을 또 살짝 볼 수 있으니까요. 기대를 해주시고요. 계속해서 인터뷰 나머지 장면을 보십시오.
Yeah, I probably would be running for the governor of California.
Is it your idea or his idea?
Actually, he's my campaign manager, so he had to advise me on how the proper way.
I see.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want peace in the world.
But as a director, he's very talented. So we're actually really proud of all the videos he's done, in particular Numb, which we just finished. And we shot part of that in Prague and part of that in LA for the band performances. And it's probably one of my favorite videos. I'm really happy with how it turned out, as is the rest of the band. And we also shot a second video in Prague, which is going to be the next single, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows.
It's called From the Inside.
From the
And
inside.
one of the interesting things about the way Joe works, we've had the opportunity to also work with other directors, is that Joe is very calm, very mellow, and very focused on the set. And so
I think he's just quiet.
kind of not similar to a lot of the other directors. A lot of directors are very intense and yell and scream a lot, and you really know when something goes wrong. You know, if something isn't quite going right, you wouldn't know, and that kind of makes it you wouldn't know from Joe. It's because he just kind of handles things in a different way. There's a problem that occurs, he takes care of it, and we actually just get to work, and we don't feel that tension in the air when we do a video with Joe.
Maybe
So
because he's, your friend.
No,
Maybe
I
that's
think
why
it's
he
because he
can't
really
say
enjoys.
anything bad.
No, he really doesn't respect us at all. So it really has nothing to do with him being our friend. It really has, I think, more to do with the fact that he really loves directing.
He works just really, really hard at the video shoots, and he really doesn't care if we're tired or we need to take a break for food or water or something. He just works us until he gets what he wants, performance-wise.
Yeah.
So it was I thought it was one of our best shows. I think the whole thing with the regulations kind of got blown out of proportion, and we clarified all that before we went there, but we put on a regular Linkin Park show that we would usually put on for our fans, and I think that...
except we didn't curse or wear shorts.
Or
yeah, except we didn't curse.
Really? Oh.
I actually had to put a sign down that said "Don't spit" because I spit constantly on stage. I don't know why. I think
do
it's
too.
because I don't really have anything more creative to do. So that's kind of become my MO. So I put down a sign. I had to remind myself the whole show not to spit.
Oh wow. Did it work? Did the sign work? Did
Fortunately,
it
yeah.
Oh.
It was pretty easy for me because I don't ever wear shorts, and I don't like to spit when I'm playing because it
And you don't have a
ruins
microphone, so you
it
can
ruins
curse.
my cymbals and my drums. It just makes them look bad when there's spit on them. So I didn't have a problem. I just did the same show.
Okay. What's up, Korea? I'm Brad.
I'm Chester.
And I'm Rob. We're from the band Linkin Park, and we're really happy to be here in Korea. This is really exciting for us. We've been hoping to come here for a long time, and finally we're here. and we're about to play a show. We're really excited about it, and we hope to see you guys in the future.
Thanks for all your support.
감사합니다.